So right now we are literally seeing historic inflows in XRP ETFs, and nobody's really talking about this as much as they should be. And we've got a lot of people now starting to pique their interest, saying, wait a minute, there's this level of pent up demand for XRP. And as we speak right now, as of an hour ago, the total XRP ETF assets exceeded $906 million. And we are looking at inflows right now into XRP and Solana and outflows in the last 24 hours in Ethereum and Bitcoin. And we've seen this kind of trend start to play out over the last 20 days. Now, it is a small sample size. And obviously, Bitcoin's ETF has been the most successful of any of them. Larry Fink said it was the most successful product they ever had. And to think that XRP is having this level of success through Franklin Templeton, Bitwise, Grayscale, and Canary Capital is pretty amazing. And it makes you wonder what will happen to XRP when it gets some bigger names behind it, like a Fidelity, like a BlackRock. So far, BlackRock basically said, hey, we're good with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but will that last forever? That's the big question. I mean, just yesterday we saw about 13 million in new investments into XRP ETFs, and it hit a huge milestone. Very early on. It hit 800 million in 19 days. It took Ethereum 95 days to see 800 million in inflows. And I wanted to take you inside some of the things that are happening, guys. Go ahead and smash the like button, drop your X's in the chat, subscribe down below. Comment down below X so I know you guys are here, part of the XRP army. You guys are insane, and I love you guys. Love this asset class. Just love being here in crypto, man. I'm so pumped about the future, looking into 2026. Can't wait to be riding with you guys throughout the entire market. So let's get in here and give a little bit more background, because then we had some comments from Brad Garlinghouse, too, that I found pretty interesting. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse described the historic inflows into XRP as just the beginning. He emphasized that crypto ETFs currently represent only 2% of the global ETF market, leaving a huge amount of growth potential. And institutions in which that were previously sidelined by regulation or risk are now entering the market, with Ripple seeing increasing activity on its prime brokerage platform. I saw Bitwise CEO talk about the level of interest in XRP. He was pretty shocked by it, honestly. I mean, he came to market with it, obviously said, hey, this is a phenomenal opportunity for us. But I don't think even he expected to see the level of interest thus far into XRP. And if we look at, some of the other information here, I want to take you inside this right here. This is pretty fascinating. Wisdom Tree's report reveals XRP is the only crypto with sustained institutional inflows across all regions. So in Europe, XRP is bringing in a ton of new money. Outside the United States, investors are adding a lot of money. In the Middle East, right? You could see kind of what's happening here. It's becoming one of those assets that is not only a United States asset, even though it's a U.S. company. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs in the United States lost a combined $6.4 billion in November. Money continued to flow into XRP products everywhere as it recently just went live. And, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at some of these newer products like XRP, Solana, HBAR, and we're going to get a lot more of these basket ETFs as well, right? These are some things I think they're coming down the pike. And really looking forward to into 2026 when we get full clarity and regulation with the Clarity Act, Market Structure Bill, which is essentially the same thing. And I think people are underestimating what this means for XRP. Everybody wants the price to pump because of this news. I'm sure I'll get a few comments. Zach, everything's so bullish, but the price doesn't move. You have to understand, this is a long-term catalyst. It's not something that's going to change the course of history overnight. You're not going to see $100 XRP by the end of the year, guys. I don't care who told you that on YouTube. They're feeding you a bunch of BS. And that's why you subscribe to this channel, because I'm not going to feed you a bunch of BS. I mean, people are literally wanting $100 XRP so they can put Christmas presents under the tree. I was seeing these posts. I'm like, guys, you cannot listen to these outlandish price targets. I am long-term bullish on the price of XRP and a lot of the top assets in crypto. But we need to understand that this is a long-term game and patience is a virtue. This stuff has to play out over time. It's not a overnight success story. There's no get rich quick here. Okay, so I appreciate you all for watching. If you like my perspective, you like the news, you like the alpha, you like the info on a daily basis, subscribe down below if you haven't already. Check out my free newsletter. We put this out 2 times a week. If you're looking for alpha, totally free. I'll leave the link down there as well. I'll pin it as the top comment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.